All right. Today's episode on on this YouTube channel is going to be a little bit earlier than what I'm used to because I'm about to spend a huge chunk of time continuing to help my cousin do all of their stuff. So, move in and all the things. And I just wanted to make sure that I got this video out before I, got home at like 6 a.m. again and then nothing and then I have to go and do another YouTube video. But I I think it's interesting that it feels like in life there's a lot of different cycles. And the main two cycles that my life tends to have is like a lull period that feels like it slowly builds up and then like a snap of just constant productivity that just churns out for a while and then it kind of dies down and you go back into that lull period. I find this really interesting because it feels like for the past while, it's been a constant churning out of productivity with a buildup, which is different from the two things that I'm normally used to. So it's exciting to go through a period of life that I'm not really used to at this point, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think I could probably track how it started, which was after I got out of school. Then there was a good chunk of a lull period because I had to reorganize my life and restructure to figure out how to live outside of a structure that was imposed on me, and I had to impose my own structure, right? I highly recommend for anyone out there who's still in school to start learning how to do stuff and structure your life aside from school. So if you can like deal with any kind of hobby, even if it's just a small amount every day while you're, still in school and all the stuff, it will highly benefit your life because it makes it so that after school disappears, you don't just fall into work and that just eats up all of your time. You have the external structure from school that you're already used to working on in rough environments, which allows you to stick with it. And so I highly recommend getting a habit of doing some sort of some sort of productive hobby, like music or art or like a language or like a specific day that you hang out with your friends every week, that you just have a scheduled thing you do, like you have a game day or something, things like that. That kind of structure outside of school will really benefit your life structure because it gives you some support outside of the school structure itself. It helps carry over the summers when there's not a ton of imposed structure. So it gives you that consistency that allows you to not just kind of stagnate as soon as the guide rails are gone. So I highly recommend it. Anyway, so I got out of school. I got absorbed into stuff. I was a TA for a while, and I really enjoyed that, even though it paid crap. Uh, but but there was a point where I started to build back structure, and then that structure started to build back up, and then it collapsed, and then I started to reform it, and it started to build back up, and there was a few cycles of that. And I think that actually doing this YouTube stuff where I upload every day really solidifies the importance of like it reasserts the structure constantly, and because of that it actually is really beneficial for me. Because it gives me something outside of work to actually look forward to that I have to do. So that means that I need to keep up with my art stuff so that I can keep posting thumbnails, which is really good, and it drives me to keep playing piano, even though I do enjoy playing that, but it tends to fall to the wayside sometimes. But it really motivates that, and it's helped me keep up as a reminder my language learning and my guitar and a whole bunch of other things. But it's it's really beneficial because it gives me that thing out that structure outside of the usual suspects that normally don't care too much about your personal growth, for me to delve time and effort and investment into myself to achieve some interesting personal growth. Uh, but ever since I've been doing that, it's felt like there's been this productive increase constantly. And there's been a few weeks and whatnot where it's like I got sick and didn't do a bunch of stuff, and I've been taking on some bigger projects, and it doesn't really feel like they're moving too much, but it does feel like they're moving a lot more than they would have previously, and that kind of thing. So it's more of a comparison piece where I know the difference between the spikes, the peaks and the valleys of what would the word be? Motivation, efficiency, productivity. That's the one. So I know the peaks and the valleys of the productivity run where it feels like I'm being productive, and if I don't feel like I'm being productive, then I tend to start pushing myself towards a more productive piece. But it's felt as if I've just been constantly a little bit more every time, every day, a bit more productive, which is good. So overall, it's been a huge benefit. So yeah.